So my boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for a while, and for the most part, things have been great. But the past few weeks, he hasn't been paying as much attention to me, even going as far as ignoring my texts due to being busy, which I know for a fact he wasn't. It just felt like he was purposely pulling away from me, which hurt a lot. I ended up going through his phone, which I found nothing in. That's a risky game. But I couldn't help but feel like he was hiding something from me. So I decided to start a petty argument for attention. Admittedly, I was a bit passive aggressive, but all I wanted was his attention and maybe to bring things up, even if it wasn't in the best way. I ended up just starting a big nothing argument over something admittedly trivial when we were walking through the park on the way back home, and he completely blew up on me, getting in my face, throwing insults back at me. I started crying, and he didn't even care. It was like he wasn't even my boyfriend anymore. I just wanted to talk about things, especially since I just felt abandoned these past few days, and I thought it would be kind of harmless, like a way to get his attention without blowing up. I didn't expect the argument to blow up so fast because he got so upset and started accusing me of being controlling and petty, which I didn't ever intend to hurt him like that. I just thought it would be harmless and kind of cute, like how other couples play fight. I ended up running out of the room and left the house to stay at my sister's for the night. When I woke up, I had a few texts from him where he basically apologized and said he never meant to make me cry, nor did he want to hurt me, and he was just exhausted and frustrated at me picking fights. Honestly, I wanted to believe him, but I just couldn't because what he said was so hurtful. Now he's been acting like I did something terrible and like I just wanted to keep the fight going when I never even meant to hurt him. I've seriously been questioning myself lately, so I decided to come here and ask, am I the asshole for starting a fight with my boyfriend for attention?
We just needed a big breath after that.
I'm we did. This is definitely immature shit. She did say, wait, I think is he 24 or is she? He's 24, she's 25. She is an asshole. He too might be an asshole. Well, no, he too definitely is an asshole because of the way he reacted. I on one hand, I do understand him reacting, but not to that degree. But also she's an asshole because that saying, El que busca encuentra. Like whoever, if you seek and you shall find. Like she wanted attention and she sure got attention. And not the type she wanted. She honestly, once she went through that phone and found nothing, she should have left it there. Should have left it there. Part of being in a relationship is after you're in a relationship for a while, things might, become stagnant and some people find that
hmm
boring.
hmm
That's when you have to do the work on yourself to be like, why am I looking for something? Why do I need excitement? Why can't I just exist in this lull? Because that's normal. That's fine. That's life. Not every day is going to be a up or a down. Sometimes it's just right there in the middle, and you have to be comfortable in that. So, I don't think they should be together because somebody who needs that constant attention or that would annoy the fuck out of me. I'm so like calm, chill, like please get out of my face with that. Um I don't think she's ready to be in a relationship. I don't know apart from him blowing up on her, which was not the right thing to do, but she rage baited him. We're speaking about rage baiting. She successfully rage baited him. And now she's
hmm
upset that she was successful. But what do you think?
Yeah. Just on that point of her kind of needing chaos. Well, number one, she's older and her frontal lobe is fully developed. They say at 25, your frontal lobe is fully developed. So, no excuses for her. I think they're both the asshole, like you said. But her needing chaos, I've seen a lot of people who have had issues in their childhood or grew up in a quote unquote burning house. So if there's all this chaos and it's kind of what you grew up in, kind of what you're used to, which I don't know if that's the case for her because obviously we don't know her backstory, whatever. But people who are used to chaos and then if they get in a relationship and it's boring or peaceful, like you said, and there's a stagnant, they are no longer in the burning house, so they create a burning house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's definitely self-work that needs to be done for her on why she would want attention and just not communicate that. I think the number one thing we will see across any story we read is communication issues because it's so hard for people to communicate in general. It's hard for me. Everyone has issues because people aren't mind readers and things are not obvious. Like, you don't know their thought process. She doesn't know if when, let's say he was having a bad day and then she rage baited him and started that, and then she was like, whoa, he got in my face. She fucked around and found out. Like, yes, it's not okay for him to get in her face at all, but she wanted a reaction. You cannot control the reaction that people give you. You are not them. You can't control other people. So she wanted a reaction. She got one. It wasn't the one she wanted because she just wanted more attention. She wanted him to be like, oh no, like she wanted like toxic shit because she thinks that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she called it a cute little argument that other couples have. What do you mean?
Yeah,
What are
I
you
don't know what that
talking
means.
about?
She's got to be talking about like social media or like these couple goals type of TikTok or YouTube couple that fake arguments. I don't
Yeah,
know if people don't realize that these are skits.
I definitely think it's some kind of social media stuff she sees, and comparison is the thief of joy. She's comparing her relationship to other people, causing her own issues. He should have never gotten in her face, 1000%. That makes him an asshole. His reaction was too much. So obviously it scared her because she didn't know him to be capable of that. I do think that when people show you who they are, believe them. And it may take you, when you're younger, it does take you a few times. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way where I give people too many chances, um, in friendships, relationships, whatever. So I
Hmm.
know now that if someone were to react that way, it's definitely not okay. It's not a little cute, oh, but he loves me. Like it's just so much passion that's misplaced. No. The Especially in our society where men are taught kind of the only emotion that they can have is rage, it can be very scary
Hmm.
as a straight woman because if they don't do the work on themselves to unlearn all of that, and the only emotion or they filter all their emotions through rage and anger, it can become a dangerous thing. Because if she started that little petty argument and then it turned into like a physical altercation, then she just put herself in a bad situation. That would have been crazy and it would have been wrong on him, but she's the one who like
Hmm.
incited and she didn't even,
Instigated. Yeah.
right. I also think, and it wouldn't have been her fault, like if he hit her, obviously. He can control
Hmm.
his own emotions. He should have never gotten her face. But
Hmm.
she doesn't say exactly what type of argument she did because I think that's also telling because I think she
Hmm.
knows that it was wrong. Also, there's a lot of um social media like couples skits whatever like you were saying, and sometimes those little skits or cute little fights, sometimes those couples are like nitpicking at the other person. Kind of like, for example, Brie, Love is Blind, her saying, oh, he's just a boy, a frat boy, whatever. But that constant like nitpicking, nagging, whatever, if she caught her, like if the girl in this story caught her man on the wrong day and what she thought was like a cute way to like pick at him isn't something that he wanted or thought was a joke, I don't know. If someone did that to me, I could have blown up too, depending on what you say. because some people take jokes too far. Like humor is subjective. So we don't know what she did to him either. So both the asshole, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. They are definitely both the asshole, and there are a lot of missing pieces, but we could tell that they're both a little problematic there. And if we're gonna go for a solution on that, they should break up. I always sound like
Yes.
an asshole because that's what I'm always saying. I'm like, you need a break, but it's true. Like in this
No.
case.
Yes. I don't think I might be a
Mhm.
little bit biased in thinking that you're not wrong for wanting people to break up because I am the type of person that like around other people when I meet my friends' boyfriends, I have maybe liked one or two of them. And I am notoriously known for not liking my friends' boyfriends. And I'm not shy about it. I won't tell the guy to their face. And usually I used to not tell my friend. And most of the time, honestly, depending on what it is that makes me not like them, I might not tell them because,
Mhm.
like I don't have to get along with them. I'm not the one dating them. If it's something like, oh, our personalities just don't match, then I typically won't tell them. But if it's like, oh, I think you're a bad person and you ask me my opinion, I'm probably going to tell you because I've had situations in the past where I didn't like someone's boyfriend and I just felt it in my gut and I didn't know what it was and I didn't tell her. And later on, like that was like the worst relationship she could ever have. That was like cheating, all this stuff, whatever, lying. And then later on, when she found out that none of her friends liked him, she was like, "Oh, why did nobody like tell me?" Like it
I,
obviously
I,
not about the cheating
uh,
stuff. Like we didn't know that,
yeah.
but
Right, of course. I was gonna say I literally just saw a video on TikTok earlier today talking about that, like that feeling of when you break up with somebody and then all your friends are like, "Oh, thank God, girl," and the people are like, "Wait, why you didn't tell me?" But a lot of times, exactly that. If you can't pinpoint something specific, it's kind of difficult to tell someone you care about that seems happy, like, "Hey, I don't know if this is the one for you." Sometimes you just kind of as long as you're like okay they're not hurting them um you just gotta let shit play out.
yeah. So I don't think you're an asshole for thinking people should break up. It's your opinion, but I also might be biased because I typically don't like a lot of guys and the things that they do. I am also, I also don't tell people if I don't think they can take it because some girls, they just don't want to hear it and then it causes issues between you guys.
Yep, exactly.
So I pick and choose who I tell. And there's also times where I've had friends where it wasn't even that I didn't like the guy as a person. It was just that I didn't see that type of relationship for them. For example, I had a friend where she's an engineer and she was dating an engineer and they were long distance. And when she went to go visit him, he was working a lot and not really making the time and effort to do things with her when they didn't really have a lot of time together. And because they were both in the same field, I the way that I perceived it when she was telling me the story was that he was expecting her to just understand and kind of like take it as is and the minimal effort. And I told
Mm,
her that I was like, oh, I don't really see you with an engineer, or like, I see you with someone who is not in your field. So it takes them more time to understand or like ask questions about your job. Like, I see you with someone who's like interested in learning about what you do and like you like to explain stuff about being an engineer. So I would see you with someone who does something different, like you being interested in learning about them being interested in learning about you, and taking the time to actually put in the effort and spend time with you instead of just like, oh, like I just have to work and you just have to like lay there in my apartment and like we can't do stuff together for the weekend that you're here when we're long distance.
yeah, that's whack, and I think that's the biggest part is knowing whether or not your friend is going to be receptive to whatever you tell them and kind of I guess tweaking the delivery to fit them. I have a friend that I know for a fact the dude she's with is not it. And he's shown her in multiple ways that he's not it. But, and I've told her, like, hey, it's not even a red flag anymore. That shit is and in flames, like burning. She's, I see what it is. She's not willing to let that go. So I'm just like, listen, I think it's this. If you want to carry on with it, I'm gonna support you. But, even me just being like, hey, I don't think it's a bad idea to have like an exit plan or like a plan B or like to think about, well, what if this doesn't work? Like how will I, carry on? Um, and sometimes people feel like, oh, well, that's negative. And then I'm thinking negative and I'm manifesting. I'm like, no, it's actually like you taking care of yourself, which will actually reward you because the universe sees that you are prioritizing yourself, even though you're choosing to be with somebody. That's one message. But if you at least just be like, okay, well, if X, Y, and Z happens again, I'm gonna maneuver this way. But it is what it is. Not everybody wants to hear, so it's fine.
Right.